Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know I haven't been here in a long time, but when I'm not on YouTube, my main platforms right now are my blog, adventuresfromelle.com, which is a Jamaican travel blog. So if you are in Jamaica or planning to travel to Jamaica and you want some local advice in terms of where to go, what's good to do, check that out. Also, you can find me on Instagram at adventuresfromelle. We're now finally 3,000 strong, and I mean the goal is 10k just so I can have the swipe up feature, but you know that not come for now. So just help me grow my Instagram account, tell a friend, share my posts, share my guides, and hopefully we can reach that elusive goal maybe in another year. You see me sweating here is because I turn off the fan in Jamaica hot summer, just so that way you wouldn't have any background noise. So apologies. Okay. So I made a little list because I don't want to ramble and miss out the important points. But while I'm not a professional writer, I only write as a hobby or on the side. But pretty often people think I write professionally, or well, I do a lot of gigs here and there, but people think I do this for a living, like it's my main bread and butter, and I'm flattered. I am so flattered by that because again, as I said, it's a hobby. Today we'll be talking about how I create a blog post for anybody who is interested. I'd asked on Instagram a couple of weeks ago about if you would like, you know, any insight into how I write or how I make a new blog post, and I'd created it as a kind of poll where people could vote whether they would, well, first of all, if you even want me to make this, and everybody said yes, they want it, and I got like maybe about 50 responders. Right, I got about 50 people saying yes, they would love to see how I create new blog posts. Then when I asked what they would prefer, most people said they would prefer YouTube. Some people said they would want a blog. Some people said they would want both. And then that got stressed me out making a YouTube video. So I made a little list so that I don't leave out anything important. I only have 4 tips. 4 things that I think are important in making, or at least in my blog making process. And yeah, I don't want to leave out nothing. So here we are. Number 1 for me is actually working on the photographs first. So while a blog is mainly text, the pictures are important in keeping people engaged, and not just keeping people engaged, but it makes it easy for you to follow. I am less inclined to read an article if it is purely text and not supported by any graphics of any sort. So since I'm mainly a travel blogger, I take pictures when I go out. Just with a Samsung S9 to be exact, nothing, you know, fancy. I don't have no fancy camera equipment, but that's fine. That's worked great for me the past 4 years. It's not a job. Blogging is just a hobby. One day I'll invest in a professional camera, but right now I make it work with my phone. So all my pictures that you'll see on my website are coming from my phone. And the first thing I do, so when I go somewhere, I take picture of everything. I not lie. I take picture of the dirt, I take picture of the trees, then I take picture of the rock, I take picture of the water, I take picture of everything. So when I come home, I have this huge gallery sometimes with like 200 pictures of one place, just different angles, and ain't nobody want to see that. A lot of them will probably have me or the other people I go to the attraction with in them, and I try not really to post, you know, pictures of people, or I don't even post that many pictures of myself because I blog to try and showcase the location and not so much me. So I will go through and I will decide which pictures are going to make it up on the blog. And yes, I'm going to decide which pictures will make it up on the blog. Now, after choosing those pictures, I'm going to, you know, kind of edit. Sometimes I may have 2, 3, 4 shots of the same thing. I will go through and say, all right, this is the best of the 4, delete the rest of them. After I delete the rest of them, then I am going to do a little adjusting, little editing nothing fancy, usually just in the gallery. And I will probably increase the saturation of a few. I'll maybe increase the contrast, whatever it is, just very tiny tweaks, because I like my pictures to look like the actual place. I hate looking at over edited pictures where when you go to the actual location you're like, this is what it actually looks like. No, I try to be authentic as much as possible, so I'll do only very minor edits. Now after doing that, then I will watermark the pictures. So all the pictures on my travel blog, for the most part, sometimes I may get lazy, but for the most part everything will say either lifestyle archives or travel archives with a little stroke, and then it will say adventures from Elle.com. And that's important to me because people steal pictures all the time. I've seen my pictures in the weirdest of places, in Facebook groups circulating with no credit. I'll see them on posters. Like I've even seen my pictures on like promotional graphics for travel companies which are advertising tours, and I'm saying, why are you putting my pictures there? If you're going to carry a group there, you should have been there before. You should have your own pictures. Why are you stealing my pictures? But anyway, I try to put it to prevent the theft of pictures, and also so that way if my blog photo ends up somewhere, people can trace it back to me. Maybe somebody will be like, oh cool, I wonder what's this website, let me type in the URL and they'll find me. So and sometimes Google as well, Google and the different search engines, when they use your picture in the search results for a place, it's an easy way for people to link back that this picture is coming from your website. So as I said, I will select my pictures, I will edit them, I will watermark them, I will delete the unnecessary pictures. Another thing I do as well is I try to create a Pinterest graphic for every single post. So no matter how simple or basic the place is, whether it is an uncommercialized, off the beaten path, free river or waterfall, or whether it is an actual attraction where you pay money to go in, I offlate. I don't have it for every post, but since probably about the start of 2020 onwards, I've made sure to create Pinterest shareable graphics for every single post. And that also has dual benefit, because I will use that same picture on Instagram, share it to my stories, and on Facebook to promote the post as well. I even share it to my WhatsApp story. Alright, so this allows me to share my graphic and promote my blog. So I always create a Pinterest graphic. So that's it in terms of working on photos first. So watermarking, editing, deleting unnecessary pictures, and Pinterest graphics, which by the way I make in Canva for free. So that's it. I work on the pictures first, and for me, when I work on the pictures first, it kind of guides me in terms of how the flow of the article will go. So and it will kind of remind me that, hey, I need to talk about this part. So when I take pictures with the directions, so like I'll take pictures of signs, yeah, I'm that girl. When I take random pictures of signs, it will remind me to be like, oh, remember I have to go tell them you turn left here and then you turn right there and then you follow this and you follow. So it reminds me what to include. Now, point number 2, research. Research is very important. And for me, my article research tends to come from other Jamaican websites. So for me, I tend to use sites like visitjamaica.com, which is Jamaica's official tourism board website. I also use Jamaicans.com, which I think it's mainly a diaspora website, but they have a lot of useful information about Jamaica. I'll use the Jamaica National Heritage Trust, which is a government-run website, and it has information on things like our churches, our basically all of our built environment. So it has churches, lighthouses, historical schools, old forts, clock towers, yeah. So it's very, very useful. If I'm going to a place, I may pass an attraction and I'll be like, oh cool, what's this? And JNHT will be able to tell me it was built in 1804, it was built by this person, it was originally used for this, nowadays it is used for that. Like it's very, very good. So I use that as a reference for a lot of historical facts that I have on my website. Now there are also some Jamaican bloggers or Jamaican bloggers who will also give me information when I'm researching a post. So my go-to sites are Simply Local.life. Have to give Janelle a shout out because I get a lot of information from her blog in terms of directions, where to go, and if she has been there before, I make sure to check out what she had to say about the place so I can know what to expect. I also use Nature's Sweet Escapes. If you guys don't know her or you guys don't follow her, you should. She is another Jamaican who loves going to waterfalls and rivers even more than I do. So if you think me go river enough or you think me go waterfall enough, Nature's Sweet Escapes is another level. And she does it by public transport, which I find so admirable. She rarely uses private transport for her trips. She'll go down a town, take one country bus. Then when she reaches the destination, she come off, she asks for one taxi. She might pay a man for filling car, so taxis might be able to carry 4 passengers. She'll pay for all the empty seats and say, yo, drop me go this place. And then she just talk to somebody in the square and be like, yo, can you be my tour guide? And she is amazing. She's such an inspiration. So if it's a place like a waterfall or beach or a river, some kind of water attraction, I'll check out her site. I follow her on Instagram, so I tend to kind of have an idea of the places she may have been to before, and I know that if she has covered it on Instagram, then she has a blog post about it. So she's another one of my sources sometimes. And interestingly enough, local newspapers prove useful, so that will be mainly the Jamaica Gleaner and the Observer. And also there is this journalist who is an avid adventurer and also a published author. Did I say avid adventurer, published author? Right. Her name is Joan Williams and her blog is greatestj.wordpress.com. I haven't seen her post anything on it in years, but her older articles sometimes that's the only information about a place. So I will kind of use her as an informal reference, and that's how I do my research. Okay. Alright, so thirdly, selecting keywords is important. So the difference between a blog and just an essay is that an essay you're just writing text, you proofread, and that's that. A blog, you have to kind of divide it into little paragraphs or blocks that make it easy for readers. You have to intersperse it with pictures to make it engaging, and for it to be discovered and even read in the first place, you have to be promoting it on social media, and more importantly, trying to get it to rank on search engines. So how I do that is actually by selecting important or relevant keywords. There are lots of different paid platforms you can use to ensure that your site is being properly designed for search engine optimization and increasing your monetization. And again, I am a hobby writer, so I'm not the best person to speak about this, but what I do, I will type in the place on Google usually, and then I'll scroll down to the bottom. So I give up my secret now. I'll scroll down to the bottom and I will see what do people look up. So I may plan to name my article, let's say let's say I plan to name my article Mame River. Let me use my most recent blog as an example. When I typed in Mame River before my article was published, the only thing I saw on the internet was literally a link back to Hope River. So I guess Google was correcting me and saying that you should be searching for the Hope River. And then I saw one of my pictures from what I'd written years ago on Penfield, a community called Penfield, which has a waterfall in it, show up as the photo. And I'm like, but Penfield and Mame River are two separate places. Yes, they're in close proximity to each other, maybe about 5-10 minutes drive apart, but they're different parts. They're different tributaries of the Hope River running through Mame River community and Hope and Penfield. So I was just like, But then at the bottom of the article, I saw where it would say popular search terms or other I don't remember exactly how to word it, but basically to be saying like other terms that people look up. And I saw rivers in St. Andrew, river in Gordontown River, places to swim in Kingston. So I was just like, so this is what a lot of people are typing into the search bar. Or if they were to type rivers in, I guess Google would try to finish what they're saying by saying St. Andrew. So you use those key terms because clearly not a lot of people are searching for Mame River, but people want a river in St. Andrew. Mame River is a river in St. Andrew. Give the people what they want. So for me, selecting keywords is very, very important. And as I said, I'm an amateur at this, but it has been working out for me so far. Right now, Adventures from Elle ranks on the first page for so I think I've published about 22 waterfall articles right now, and I'm ranking on the first page for at least 12 of them. For me, that's a big deal. So I'm ranking on the first page of Cane River Falls, of the waterfall in Penfield, Benta River, Johnny Falls, which I actually published last month, and I'm already the #1 search term or search result rather. Tacky Falls in St. Mary, like all I do is just select keywords. So like for Tacky Falls, I'd probably type in waterfall in St. Mary because people are probably going to type that in if they don't know the name Tacky Falls. So little keywords like that is what gets me to rank. And I'm also ranking on the first page of other attractions such as Bob Marley Beach, Gut River, and that's just from putting in the right keywords or tags. So that's very, very important. It's not enough to just create good content, but you also need to ensure that it is findable, that it is recognized by search engines, so that way you can get traffic. And that's my little secret. I don't know if nobody else out there has been using it. There are more sophisticated ways of doing this, but that's my little trick. And as a hobby writer who invests nothing in like paid promotion, I've managed to garner over 240,000 reads, which is close to 250,000, and that's our next milestone. Next milestone is 250,000 reads on Adventures from Elle. So it's a work for me. When I might teeth my style now and Mr. Prank, but it's alright. Yeah, so that's number 3. No. Alright, so I did say I have 4 points. I think my last point is going to be another layout point like my previous 3. So this one now is just right. Just right. Like, right. You're a blogger, right? You need text. Just right. That's the tip. But of course I'm gonna flesh it out more than that. So for me, writing comes naturally, and I'm not bragging or anything. I'm just saying, for me, I love write. For me, writing is the easiest thing. Writing for me comes easier than sitting down here talking to you guys. Writing for me is as natural as, I won't say breathing, but maybe eating. I don't know. I really, really love to write. I love to talk. Those of you who know me in real life, will know that I love chat. So I think they go hand in hand. I love to talk, I love to read, I love to write, I love the spoken word, I love the written word. So writing is fun for me. I like prose more than I like poetry. So yeah, I really love prose. So I will just write. I will romanticize a location just unintentionally. I'll probably make a place so nicer than it really is. I'll probably go somewhere which another person will say, Lord Jesus, this is a little place. And me go there, and because it have water, and me happy, me come, and me just put pen to paper, and they hear me start talking about the verdant hills and the whatever my mind tells me to write. So I love to write. So that part is, I guess, what a lot of people want help with, but that's also my easiest part. Wow. So I do have tips too. I'm not gonna say that I don't get writer's block. I really do sometimes. And what works for me is that as soon as an idea comes to mind, I save it in a notepad somewhere. So for me, Samsung Notes is my best friend. Samsung Notes is an extension of my memory. If an idea comes to mind right now and I don't have the time to act on it or to flesh it out, I'm gonna forget it. And then I'm gonna be like, damn, you know, I had this really good idea which would have made a great article, and then it just dead. Yeah, so save your ideas. As soon as something comes to you, you may be on the bus, in a taxi, at work, about to go to bed. If the idea strikes me, you see, you know, a good article idea would be 10 best date night activities in Kingston, or top 10 free things to do in Kingston, or yeah, you get the gist. So if you have an idea, you could just save the notes somewhere, whether it be on a physical notepad or on a phone memo pad. And you can also put like bullet points. So like, for instance, if I'm thinking of top 10 free things to do in Kingston, and at that very moment, let's say Hope Gardens comes to mind, having a picnic at Emancipation Park comes to mind, looking at the murals in downtown Kingston. Like, if I have ideas, I'm gonna just probably open a bracket and just save them there, or put them in little bullet points, so that way when I come back to it, I'll be like, okay, the thought had been 10 activities to do in Kingston. At least we have 3 already, because I saved 3 of them when the idea was fresh. All I have to think about now is 7, as opposed to if you didn't write it down, you probably wouldn't even remember 1, and now you'll be at square one. I'd be probably going through my day, and then another idea will come to mind, like, hey, free date activities, touring the National Gallery on a Sunday. Last Sundays where going inside is free. Unfortunately, the National Gallery is currently closed, but you get the gist, right? So I will just ensure that all of that I write down somewhere, and it's like, as I get a new idea, I just add it to the pad. So when I'm ready to sit down and write the article, I probably already have all 10 points written out, and all I have to do is just flesh out each point, which saves me a lot of time. And you can also start your posts as a draft, save it, and come back to it. So personally for me, while this is probably not the wisest thing, but I do my writing inside WordPress. Other people may do their writing on Microsoft Word or Google Docs first, and then they transfer it over to WordPress. But I like to be able to put in my keywords first and all of that. So for me, starting out on WordPress is the best thing. But wherever you want to save it, just make sure you start off as a draft and you keep coming back to it until you have a whole post written. And that's it. That's really how I create blogs. Nothing fancy, but that's just what works for me, and I guess I'd say it suits me. There are more professional or proper ways to do this, but what I have been doing for the past 4.5 years suits me nicely, and I hope this helps someone. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube. My next goal is 300, and then 350, then 400, then 500, then grand. That's the plan. So subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Please hit the notification bell so that way you don't miss new videos. Follow me on Instagram. And by the way, if you have been reading my blogs for some time and you usually find it useful, every now and again I do have people ask me how can they contribute or support, and I usually just told them, oh, it's fine, you know, you can just follow me on social media, or you can leave a comment or share it with a friend. But I decided to add a PayPal button so you guys could buy me a coffee. It won't actually be used for coffee, I'm sorry, but it will be used to help keep my blog current, to help to maintain my website, help to keep me traveling. So it's literally just a contribution of $3, which is the equivalent to the cost of a cup of coffee. You can find it, the PayPal tab or widget, you can find it on the sidebar of my website if you're using a laptop, or if you're on a phone or tablet, you'll find it in the footer, and you just click on it and you transfer $3 to me, and I would really appreciate it, because every mickle make a muckle. And I mean, my website costs is $96 a year unless they raise it, but it's $96 a year. So that means if, can't do that math, what, 32 people? I think if 32, I'm sorry if my math is wrong, but that means if 32 of you donate $3 to me, you guys have covered the cost of my website for the year. Yeah, so I hope you appreciated this video. Please like, again, subscribe guys, share this with a friend, and help me reach my next milestone of 300. We're literally only 11 subscribers away. So thank you for those of you already subscribed, and if you're not yet on the train, join.